Good Morning Las Vegas.
Right now on Good Morning Las Vegas, NV Energy's special program aimed at helping you save money during these record-breaking temps. A family devastated after a young boy dies at Cowabunga Bay turns to the community for help. And Senator Dean Heller under attack from a pro-Trump super PAC after he decided to speak out against the Senate's health care plan. But first, breaking news. A tense standoff near Brookbinder Drive in Lake Mead ends with a man being shot and killed by police. Metro says it began as a domestic violence call. The man barricaded himself inside a home with a woman and a 4-year-old girl inside just before 11:30 last night. The woman was able to escape after she was shot. As for the child, crews were able to rescue her from inside the house.
Luckily, as we stand here today, I'm happy to report that SWAT was able to get the 4-year-old little girl out of that residence and get her to safety, where she remains unharmed this morning.
Now, as for the woman who was shot in the arm, she's in surgery and she is expected to survive. Good morning, Las Vegas. I'm Tom George.
I'm meteorologist Dan Bronis. A nice Sunday morning out there. Beautiful when you're looking outside, actually, this morning.
Right, for right now, but it's going to heat up.
Yeah, it is definitely going to warm up. Let's just get to the forecast. I want to show you what it looks like outside because look at that camera from Mandalay Bay. Absolutely stunning this morning. We do have some clouds pushing through, and yes, we do have Virga happening around southern Nevada. That is rain that evaporates before it hits the ground. And you can kind of see in the clouds there a little bit of a rain shaft, but nothing will reach the ground this morning. So it's just making for a great sunrise out there this Sunday morning. That's what satellite looks like. You can see spotty green patches out there, so none of this actually reaching the ground, but yeah, we have those clouds around in the next couple hours. These clouds will push through. We'll have high clouds around throughout the day, but overall sunshine is going to win and warm temperatures once again. Excessive heat warning still in effect. This will be in effect through tomorrow. The good news is after tomorrow, I think we are done with that for sure. Day planner, you know, it's going to be a hot one today. Good news is we're not going to be record. The record's 115. We're going a little bit above 110 this afternoon. Winds are going to be light. Some good news there. As I mentioned, that record 115, 102 is where we should be. And we're shooting for 113 once again today. We've had 5 records in a row. Luckily, today will not make 6. I'll have more on this hot forecast coming up. Tom.
All right, thanks, Dan. 2 people were killed last night following a horrific crash near Lake Mead in Marion. According to Metro, 2 SUVs collided. 2 men were ejected from a vehicle and died at the scene. 2 women were taken to the hospital for their injuries. No word yet on their condition this morning.
Man. Every day I just wake up and I say, it's not real. So young, so full of life. Oh, God.
For the first time, we're hearing from the family of a boy who died after he was pulled from the wave pool at Cowabunga Bay. Now the family is asking for help. 13 Action News reporter Annalise Ortiz sat down with the family as they try and work through their heartache.
Like Captain America, Spider-Man.
Jerome Burke says his 8-year-old nephew, Daquan Bankston, loved superheroes, and he loved to read.
That was the last book he was reading, was Captain America.
You might even call it his superpower.
Just got promoted, best reader at Kit Carson Elementary School.
He also loved being in the water.
He loved to swim, he loved the water, he loved going to the water park.
But Daquan's trip to this water park last Sunday would be his last.
Seems so unreal. I mean, just to go to the park and that happen, you know what I'm saying? It's just what?
He was found unresponsive in the wave pool.
You know, we got phone calls and we're panicking, we're rushing everywhere. It was just tragic.
He held on in the hospital for almost a week. Then Friday night, his fight came to an end.
He was surrounded by those who he knew best.
An unimaginable tragedy for a child who lit up his family's lives.
He really brought the happiness out of each and every person that he was around.
Now Jerome believes Daquan will be watching over everyone he left behind. A superhero they can call their own.
We want to send our little Captain America home with the best way we can.
The family has set up a GoFundMe page to help pay for funeral expenses. We have all of the information on our website, ktnv.com. Annalise Ortiz, 13 Action News.
Now, Cowabunga Bay released this statement saying, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with the family. Our utmost concern is the safety and enjoyment of all our guests. The circumstances of this tragic incident are being investigated. The water park says it will comment more once this investigation is complete." Now, sadly, this isn't the first incident at Cowabunga Bay. Back in 2015, a 6-year-old boy suffered brain injuries after he fell out of an inner tube. The boy now needs around-the-clock care, and his family has filed a lawsuit. It claims the park operated its wave pool with less than 5 lifeguards when it's required to have 17. Last year, the health district allowed Cowabunga Bay to operate with as few as 7 lifeguards. During an inspection earlier this month, they found no violations. A fire on a patio forced 2 people out of their home last night. Take a look at the damage left behind. The flames broke out near Lake Mead and Torrey Pines just before 7. One person was treated for minor burns. Right now, investigators are trying to determine what caused the blaze. For the second time this week, a fire breaks out at a Valley recycling plant. No word yet on what caused the blaze. It broke out just before 5 last night at a plant near the I-15 and Range Road, prompting a response from both Las Vegas and North Las Vegas Fire. On Friday, a 3-alarm fire broke out at a plant near Nellis and Lake Mead. Firefighters say a big pile of debris caught fire at the facility. Crews were able to put it out despite the hot conditions outside. No other buildings or homes were affected. Investigators are still trying to determine what caused that fire. With no end in sight for the hot temperatures, your electric bill is probably taking a hit, but NV Energy has a money-saving program to help. It's called PowerShift. It's created to help customers stretch their dollar throughout the summer.
And with PowerShift, we offer free smart thermostats that let you control the temperature of the home from your favorite mobile device while you're away from home, and it also helps you save energy and money.
Another power-saving tip, NV Energy also recommends that you close the blinds on south-facing windows and run major appliances at night when it's cooler. An update now to a story we first brought you as breaking news on KTNV.com. A man at the center of a standoff at a casino on the Strip is behind bars this morning. Police say a man tried to steal a vehicle from the valet at the Cosmopolitan yesterday morning. The man then barricaded himself inside the car, prompting a response from the SWAT team. The man eventually surrendered. Well, if you have to take the US 95 anytime next week, you'll have to deal with some closures. The freeway will be shut down in both directions all night Wednesday between Casino Center and Las Vegas Boulevard. The closure begins at 11 p.m. and will reopen at 4 a.m. on Thursday. It's all part of Project Neon to widen the 15 from the 95 to Sahara. And if you know about something that's snarling traffic in your neck of the woods, just send us an email to traffictroubles@ktnv.com and be sure and include your phone number. New this morning, every member of British Parliament was shut out of a remote email after hackers attempted to break into their accounts. The hack attempt was first discovered on Friday. It's unclear who's behind it, but British news outlets are reporting Russia is to blame. Some believe the goal of the hack was political disruption. So far, there's no indication whether that hack was successful. Turning now to the healthcare battle brewing on Capitol Hill. This morning, the president is putting pressure on his own party as a growing number of GOP senators have spoken out against the Republican plan to repeal Obamacare. One of them, Nevada Senator Dean Heller, who's now facing threats from a pro-Trump super PAC. We get details from ABC's David Wright.
The White House is gearing up for another round in the fight to repeal Obamacare. A pro-Trump PAC threatening $1 million ad buy against a moderate Republican senator who dared to announce he won't back the bill as it stands. Nevada's Dean Heller says he's concerned about the impact the bill would have on low-income residents of his state.
It's going to be very difficult to get me to a yes.
The Republicans need almost every single vote they have to pass the bill. But 5 Republicans have said no, and 4 others have expressed concerns. After golfing today, Trump tweeted, "I cannot imagine that these very fine Republican senators would allow the American people to suffer a broken Obamacare any longer."
I want to see a bill with heart. Healthcare is a very complicated subject from the standpoint that you move it this way and this group doesn't like it.
Healthcare is a human right. We will not give up this fight.
The healthcare fight comes just as the president appears to be changing his stance on Russian meddling in the election. Trump finally appears ready to admit that it did happen. But Trump blames Obama, not Putin.
Well, I just heard today for the first time that Obama knew about Russia a long time before the election, and he did nothing about it. But nobody wants to talk about that.
Until now, Trump hasn't wanted to talk much about Russia.
I think we ought to get on with our lives.
To the extent that he's acknowledged Russian hacking at all, he's tended to dismiss the story as sour grapes from the Democrats.
You can talk all you want about Russia, which was all a, fake news fabricated deal to try and make up for the loss of the Democrats.
Another example of the so-called rigged system he railed against during the campaign.
Remember, folks, it's a rigged system. This whole election is being rigged. The system is rigged.
Now that the Washington Post has published a much more detailed account of Russian meddling and of Obama's secret struggle to stop the Russians, Trump seems to be changing his tune. Trump tweeted, "Since the Obama administration was told way before the 2016 election that the Russians were meddling, why no action? Focus on them, not T."
The question is, if he had the information, why didn't he do something about it? He should have done something about it. But you don't read that. It's quite sad.
That was David Wright reporting. Well, good morning, everyone. Coming up, police in Georgia searching for 2 people after they beat a restaurant and her daughter over their fried chicken order. Plus, the Brian Head fire continues to expand. We'll hear from residents who say this is unlike any fire they've ever seen.
And outside temperatures once again very hot. How long will this weather last? More of that right up.
Welcome back. The wildfire burning in Brian Head, Utah has now topped 40,000 acres, and it's just 5% contained right now. High winds and hot weather are fanning the flames, but crews expect conditions to improve today. Hundreds have been displaced because of this fire. Lauren Mathias shows us how they're coping.